Birmingham Bears reply with 159 runs needed. Josh Cobb starts to bowl his off spin, as he has in the previous 2 matches that Northamptonshire have played, and immediately Ian Bell is away with a single, up to the man Alex Wakely fielding at long on. Alex Wakely, as I mentioned earlier, him and Safe Zabe on Sunday, I think must have fielded 2/3 of all the balls in the field. They were running around like nobody's business, and Wakers was looking a tad frazzled at the end, but enjoyed the experience. And now Ed Pollock, the X Factor. And can Josh Cobb keep him in the park? Bowls that one, flights it up, and he beats Ed Pollock. He also beats the keeper Ricky Vasconcelos, and it's gone down for 4 byes. So that's a bit of a bonus for the Bears. 5 for no wicket.
It is. It doesn't do much for the confidence in Ed Pollock when it's facing spin. I know the thing about took the first ball, which hasn't always been the case. Perhaps he saw the spin and thought, I'll take the first ball, but he rather negated that by then taking a single off the first ball.
Well, Josh Cobb in again, bowling round the wicket to the left-handed Pollock, who drives, but only as far as Gareth Berg at extra cover, and there's no run. He's got a backward point, sort of 2 extra covers and a mid-off. Bowls to Pollock, who works that one away on the onside this time, but it just goes to the man at square leg, which is Ben Sanderson, and there's no run. 5 for no wicket. Cobb in again, big appeal for LBW, but bearing in mind bowling round the wicket, I think he's going to turn a hell of a lot, and not out, says umpire Nick Cook.
Sounds LBW's second ball at Cardiff to the spinner.
Well, I think the angle might have been a little bit difficult to get an LBW there, and he picks up his first run there as he just forces that one away off the back foot, up to long on, where the aforementioned Alex Wakely fields. He's probably thinking, is it going to be another one of those matches? End of the over, first one from Josh Cobb, and the Bears 6 for no wicket, with Ian Bell and Ed Pollock on 1 apiece and 4 byes.
What Pollock did do there, what was noticeable, was he wasn't trying to hit the spinner out of the ground. If he'd been a seamer, he would have been going straight for the big shots, but he was content with trying to just knock the ball back. He's a bit unlucky, found the fielder with a couple of reasonably hit shots, but let's see, that's going to be the plan for him with the spinner, maybe rein himself in a little bit, but I think he'll go for it now with the seamer.
Well, it's going to be Ben Sanderson. He's going to bowl to Pollock with a slip in place. Alex Wakely. Sanderson from the far end running in to us, and Pollock goes up and over and flays that one away over extra cover, and it crosses the boundary rope, hits the advertising board in front of the West Stand, and 4 to Ed Pollock, who's 5, and the Bears 10 for no wicket.
Finals day a couple of years ago, he scored, I think I might say he scored the Bears' first 50 runs. It all came from Pollock. Dom Sibley at the other end, doing his usual thing, you know. Pollock was hitting the ball all over the place.
Fair enough. Well, still the slip in place for Sanderson, who runs in, bowls to Pollock, and Pollock pulls that one away into the wide open spaces towards mid-wickets, running up towards the boundary. Safe Zabe makes a huge amount of ground and manages to save the boundary and keeps the batsman to 2. Excellent fielding. But Pollock picks up 2, 7 to him, 12 for no wicket. And Ed Pollock once again proving that he's a sort of batsman that can take one of these T20 matches away from the fielding side in the matter of 3 or 4 overs. Here's Sanderson in again, bowls to Pollock, who pulls. He's only going to get a single this time because he just picks out Zabe coming in off the deep mid-wicket boundary. So 1 more to Pollock, who goes to 8, and the Bears to 13 for no wicket. 1 ball to go in the second over, and obviously the field changing around a wee bit for the right-handed Bell. The slip's gone, and now we've got a backward point extra cover, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket, and backward square in the ring, and then deep square and third man on the boundary as Sanderson bowls to Bell, who plays that calmly back down the pitch. Bowler himself fields in his follow-through, and there's no run. Sanderson bowled his 4 overs on Sunday against Somerset, picked up 3 wickets for 36 from his 4 overs, but in the match against Worcestershire he bowled just a couple taking the early wicket of Hamish Rutherford. 2 overs, 1 for 11. Miss Sanderson in again, bowls to Bell, who Bell cuts but can't beat the man at point, and there's no run.
Yeah, frustrating for Bell. That hits that well, but straight to either side of the fielder. That's 4.
No, he hit that beautifully, didn't he? But Alex Wakely inevitably was there to field, and now just tweaked the field a little bit, and he's now got a backward point just behind and a cover just in front, and now they're bringing up third man into the ring, and they're pushing back deep mid wicket. So I wonder, they're thinking about going short. No, he's not. It's a good length ball, and Bell picks up a single. It goes to save Zabel, throws at the stumps at the striker's end, but Pollock is safely through for the single. So 1 to Bell off the last ball of the over. Nicks the bowling. 2 overs gone. The Bears needing 159 to win, a 14 for no wicket.
Yeah, so it's a start from the Bears, not spectacular. Needing to score just about 8 and over across the innings to win the game. 14 off the first 2, which seemed not going to carry on. I thought might carry on with Josh Cobb against Ed Pollock, but they're not.
It's going to be Brandon Glover, who generated some pace in both matches, actually to the extent that he broke a stump at Worcester. Broke it not vertically but horizontally. It just snapped it in 2 when he bowled Ricky Vessels. The pictures that appeared on social media of him with the 2 halves of the broken stump. And here's Glover, South African born Dutch international, running away from us. Bowls to Ian Bell, who plays that crisply to backward point, where it's fielded by Graham White, and there's no run. Yes, Glover coming to Northamptonshire this year, played one of the Bob Willis Trophy matches against Somerset, but certainly looking at him to make an impact in this shorter format, having done great things for the Netherlands in the qualifying tournament out in the Gulf to help them get to the World T20 final tournament, wherever it's held. Glover in again, bowls to Bell, who tries to give himself room, gets a thick bottom edge, and the ball just dribbles past his leg stump. Vaston Salos comes up from behind the stumps. Standing back, of course, to Glover, and there's no run.
Start of the over puts a bit of pressure on Ian Bell, who actually lost his place in the T20 side while he was captain. He's massed loads of runs, but it's just a feeling that perhaps he wasn't getting them quite quickly enough.
Beautiful sunset over to the west as Glover comes in and bowls once again to Bell, very, very wide, and signalled wide by the umpire. He's lost that one a bit. 1 more on the total, 15 for the Bears for no wicket. We're in the 3rd over. Yes, he was probably slightly less impressive, to be honest, on Sunday against Somerset when he bowled 4 overs, 1 for 37. I just didn't quite get it right. Let's see what he does this time. Running away from us, bowls to Ian Bell, and Bell again gives himself a little bit of room, forces into the offside, but can't get through the field. It's Paul Sterling there. That cover, and there's no run. It's beautiful oranges and greys in the sky over to our left. We just lose the last of the daylight. It's been a lovely day in Northampton. I think we were due one. And here's Glover. Long straight approach comes in, bowls to Bell, who hoists that one away over mid wicket, and he's going to get 6 as it lands on the service road, and I suspect has probably just bounced over the fence, so he may be asking for the box of balls again, but it's 6 to Ian Bell. Bowling again just a little bit short of a length, and Bell setting himself and hoisting it away. In fact, it didn't quite go over the fence, they managed to retrieve it, but 6 to Bell, who goes up to 8, and the Bears 21 for no wicket in the 3rd over. The target is 159. And here's Glover in again, bowls to Bell, who cracks that one away through the covers. My goodness, he hit that hard, and it gave the man at cover, Paul Sterling, absolutely no chance. Rattled the boundary boards almost before you'd registered it. Cracking shot from Ian Bell, He goes up to 12.
I think I've seen enough now. I think he should. He's always one of those batters that you want to see because it's a masterclass. But then after a while, when they're in the opposition team, you think, okay, that's enough now. I've seen. Yeah. I remember whenever I've been down here when we've played Worcestershire, Mo and Ali, always someone that you want to watch. But then after a while, you think that's enough. Thanks.
That was a wonderful stroke from Ian Bell. Faces this ball from Glover. Not quite so impressive this time. Comes off a thick inside edge. He looked to force away up towards mid-off. It finished up going to mid-on, fielded by Alex Wakely, but it's one more run to Bell, and again he nicks the bowling. So if there's one thing that Ian Bell experience does teach him, it teaches any senior seasoned batsman, it's how to count to 6. End of the over, 15 Bell, 8 Pollock, and 26 for no wicket off 3.
And that was a brilliant over from Bell. The only problem is, I mean, the whole point of Pollock being there is this plunder runs in the power play, and at the moment he can't get the strike.
Bowling. But when you play shots like that, it doesn't matter, does it? That was a terrific shot from Ian Bell. Absolutely laced it for 4. Well, he's now going to be facing Ben Sanderson. Apologies, doing his Nathan Buck impression. It's Nathan Buck coming into the attack, so they're going to have the first 4 bowlers, 4 overs bowled by different bowlers. Buck, who played a very, very valuable innings with the bat at the back end of Northampton's knock, 16 not out of 8 balls. And now it's Buck in bowls to Bell, and Bell is tucked up by that good ball from Buck, just followed him slightly as he looked to give himself room, and he just dropped it down in front of him. And there's no chance of a run there. Batsmen have a little conference. What's the cut-off time now? We're looking at about 20 past. Yeah, about 20
11.
Yeah. No. We've got any more Richard Levy, the Richard Levy lectures that we had earlier on. Field changes. He's now got deep mid-wicket and deep square as his 2 men on the boundary, and he bowls that one, and he's gone aerial. It's gone up a long way in the air, and I think Ian Bell's going to be caught.
Yeah.
And he is. It went up a very long way, and it was a good catch taken by Ben Sanderson. And Bell is on his way. Trisha's got her wish. Bell goes for 13, and the Bears are 26 for 1 in the 4th.
Well, 13 of 11 balls. He had a couple of very good shots, and that 4 was shot of the day. A goalkeeping style dive from the fielder was probably very good. He didn't get his hand to it, but that was hit beautifully. But hasn't gone on to dominate.
That's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Very shame.
It's a good catch. It was a good catch by Ben Sanders. It went up a very long way.
I thought the lights were in his eyes at one point.
I think they were, Clive, and it's interesting. I think you noticed between innings when we were chatting away that one of the things that the Northampton coaching staff were doing was actually knocking the ball up into the lights for the fielders, just to get their eyes used to it. So that obviously paid dividends. Well, Adam Hose, who's coming in at number 3. But he's not going to be on strike because batsman almost crossed for 2, I should think. So it's Ed Pollock facing Buck. That's a good ball. Bounced a little bit from not really short of a length. And Pollock just having to play that defensively out on the offside, no run.
There have been 1 or 2 strange bounces in this match, haven't there?
Yes.
It has misbehaved a little bit.
Yeah, that just came up. It wasn't a short ball by any stretch of the imagination. It just hit the splice, didn't it? It was a serious effort ball, but yeah, there's 1 or 2 that just bounced a little bit, and certainly Alex Wakely's case, one that kept a bit low. Here's Buck again, bowls to Pollock, and Pollock flashes outside the off stump. Goes past the outside edge, taken by Ricardo Vasconcelos.
He's 8 off 10 balls, Pollock. That's possibly boycott-esque by his usual standards.
He's blocking, isn't he? So I think the old bar up on the balcony at Edgbaston of happy memory, they'd have had something to say about that, wouldn't they? The drinkers there. Buck comes in, bowls to Pollock. That's more like Pollock. He's going to be caught though. He's gone straight up in the air. It's the same fielder under it. It's Ben Sanderson. It's the same result. Sanderson catches it, and Pollock's rather strangely subdued innings ends. He's been caught by Sanderson off Buck, second batsman to fall that way in exactly the same position on the field, at least in the over. 1 right hand, 1 left hand. He goes for 8, and the Bears in the 4th over 26 for 2.
It's threatening to be a double wicket maiden. It could be a pivotal over in the in the innings. Sam Hain coming out to the crease now.
Sam Hain must be thinking, he's very unlucky not to have had a look in for the England white ball team, isn't he?
He was in the provisional
yeah.
squad. I think the problem was, to be honest, Andrew, is he had no form at the start of the season. He played in a couple of practice games for England and struggled and continued to struggle in the Barbados Trophy, but he's begun to get a little bit of form now. He got a half century in his last red ball game and then got 36 not out to see the Bears home at Cardiff, so he might just be beginning to get into nick.
He's such a fine player, especially in all formats, but especially in the white ball perhaps. And I can think of. He must probably have counted himself a little bit unfortunate. Anyway, he's out there in the middle. He's at the non-striker's end because the batsman once again crossed while that ball was in the air.
Two batters who haven't faced a ball yet.
No, that's right. And Nathan Buck coming in to bowl to Adam Hose, who's forced onto the back foot, plays defensively, pushes out in the offside, fielded by Gareth Berg. Well, and it is indeed a double wicket maiden.
That is the fourth maiden that's been bowled in the 2020 so far this season.
Oh, that's a good stat, Clive. I like that stat very much.
They're relatively rare things, maidens. I can tell you how many are bowled. There were 100 and you take away the games where there was no player. There were 121 games last season, during which 11 maidens were bowled. So one every 11 matches. Very common.
It's a rarity, and we were here. We were here to see it. Gareth Berg is coming into Qatar, one of the many players around the circuit this season who've adopted the headband warrior look, the sort of the Jack Brooks, David Willey look. And he's going to bowl his medium pace with keeper standing up, Ricardo Vasconcelos. 2 overs to go in the power play, 26 for 2. So another 133 runs needed by the Bears as Berg comes in. Bowls to Hain, his head on the pad, a big appeal for LBW, but not out, says umpire Nick Cook. Just looking to turn that one away, work it away onto the onside. Probably just sliding down. I think that's having a little chat now with the bowler, all very good natured. It was a confident appeal, but as I say, you would hope, in particular from the sort of shot that Sam Hain was looking to play, that must have been inclining legwards. There's Berg in again, and this time Hain plays it solidly and crisply into the onside, where Alex Wakely, positively ubiquitous these days in the field in these matches. He's fielding at sort of short mid-wicket, just saving one, and there's no run. 2 men out now. He's got deep backward square and third man. As Berg comes in, bowls to Hain, and Hain looks to force that away on the offside. Got a bottom edge, and it bounced dangerously from his point of view, close to his off stump. Doesn't make contact though, and Ricardo Vasconcelos tidies up behind the stumps. Field changes, third man coming up, and now Alex Wakely going from his position at short mid-wicket right down onto the deep mid-wicket boundary in front of the old scoreboard. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the ring on the offside, saving one as Berg bowls, and that bounced again. It's bounced up from not much short of a length, and Hain got himself into a little bit of a tangle, looking to play on the onside, and he's just gone down and given the pitch a slightly suspicious prod, an exercise in which Adam Hose is now joining.
10 balls without a run now.
Just trusting the surface a little bit now, isn't it? And I'm not sure that they do, and that can be a problem, but nothing that a boundary or two wouldn't put right. As Berg comes in, bowls, and that's a good ball again, right on the mark to Sam Hain, who just plays it out into the covers. But a good bit of fielding by Josh Cobb.
You know, I said maidens were rare.
Like London buses.
It's a really, really good start from the boys, putting the pressure right back on them. And like you said, with a little bit of uncertainty in the pitch, it's only going to play on their minds, isn't it, that the rate required is going up.
Well, here's Berg in again, bowls to Sam Hain, and Sam Hain breaks the chance of a maiden there, kills it off as he plays that one down to Richard Levy for a single. Just down behind square on the onside, so Sam Hain's away with a single. Just one off the over though, 5 gone, and the Bears are 27 for 2. Adam Hose yet to get off the mark. Sam Hain on 1, batsman out. Ian Bell for 13, Ed Pollock for 8. Both of them caught by Ben Sanderson off Skyers, off the bowling of Nathan Buck. The wickets falling at 26 and 26. And after a word from Trish, it'll be Clive to continue commentary.
Looks like, is that Sanderson coming back onto bowl?
Yes.
So I'd be gutted if you got a double wicket made and then you get taken off, eh? What more could they want?
Yeah, well, just the contrast of the innings, the Bears 27 for 2 at this stage, Northants were 59 for 1. Slight difference, so clearly the Bears are going to make this total. They're going to have to do it a different way from the way Northants did, maybe try and build a partnership and take it from there. Last over of the power play, they're certainly going to be well beaten on the power play. Sanderson comes in to bowl to Hain, who's got, my goodness me, tried to play a sort of ramp shot, ended up falling on his backside and possibly not, well, he's knocked the ball onto his helmet, and the umpires are insisting that the protocols are adhered to here. That looks that might be in the end of season video, possibly.
It's a tad ungainly. This was the tradition of one of the illustrious players for Warwickshire, of course, Rowan Canhigh, who often finished up attempting that sort of, well, not quite that sort of shot, but playing a hook shot and then finishing up on his backside. I've saw him play one or two of those sort of shots here in the 1970s when I first started watching county cricket.
It shows perhaps the mentality where the Bears are at the moment, because Hain's great strength normally in this format is he scores loads of runs at a quick pace playing, quotes, proper cricket. He doesn't normally have to resort to shots like that.
Isn't it extraordinary though, Clive, the number of times you see in these games the momentum switch in the course of 3 or 4 balls, and I suppose it's part and parcel of the format. But you look, Northamptonshire 142 for 7 off 19, and the Bears were thinking, yeah, okay, we've really got them. We're going to keep them down to a pretty below par total, and then suddenly Nathan Buck goes slightly mad in the last over, connects a couple of times. They finish up getting pushing up towards 160. Suddenly there's that little change of momentum, and it just seems as though the Bears haven't quite worked out how to play this. It's like you say that they're thinking, well, we haven't got the Levy Sterling axis at the top of the order, so we're going to have to do it slightly differently. But Ed Pollock's was a strange innings for him, for somebody who's such a wonderful striker of a cricket ball, and they just seem, to me, still a little bit scrambled at the moment. But as I say, it's nothing that a couple of boundaries I'm sure wouldn't put right.
We haven't seen Hose on, so he's in face one ball. I mean, he's normally a big hitter. We're in the power play, and again, he's not getting the strike, just as Pollock didn't earlier. Hay now has a swing as he stumps. Oh, he's given not out. Northants were convinced that Hayne had been stumped, but the square leg umpire is unmoved.
Smart bit of work.
Yeah, and Haynes still looking very uncomfortable. 8 balls, I think he's now faced for his 1 run, and
what a great bit of glove work.
Lovely, wasn't it?
Very good.
Might well have got it if the cameras have been here. Difficult for the umpire to see that in the naked eye. Hayne drops a bat on that, looking for a quick single. Oh, this will be tight, and they do make it, but again, a bit of indecision there. Do we, don't we? Eventually they did get the run. 28 for 2. Does get Hose on strike, but just about 3 balls of the power play to go. Could do with going 6-6-6 here with these 3 balls. But had a couple of sixes at Cardiff. Adamo's top 6 hitter for the Bears last season with 17. He surveys the field. Where's he going to go? It's a long way out on the leg side. And he's actually trying to run it down to third man, maybe trying to get it fine enough to beat Levy. He doesn't succeed, so he has to settle for sprinting a single. 29 for 2. And the Bears still need another 130 runs to win this game. with 14 overs to go after this one. Not impossible, but it'll take some doing. Sanderson in to Hayes, hit straight for Bailey, hit that one well, it's well caught. That's sort of wide of cover. Gareth Berg taking the catch, and Hayne goes for 2. A rather unhappy innings for him, and the Bears in big trouble here at 29 for 3.
Just succumbing to pressure, really, aren't they? Not managing to rotate the strike, not really getting the balls to hit to the boundary, so it's just pressure and maybe not a lot of confidence in what they're doing out there.
And it'll be a shame for Hayes, as he was beginning to show signs of finding form, but hasn't happened for him there. Will Rhodes, the captain, who has been a batter, has been in decent form, particularly with the red ball so far this season. He comes out now with the Bears in deep trouble. There's a chat with Adam Hose. He remains sort of stranded on 1 not out off 2 balls, and we've seen a couple of partners come and go.
Just update the score from Old Trafford in the international, chasing 191 to win. England are 65 for 2 in the 7th over.
Chasing 191 to win. Are you sure there's no repeat? Wasn't that what they were chasing last time?
Very similar, wasn't it?
In comes Sanderson to bowl to Rhodes. There is a slip in place. Northants on top at the moment. Rhodes works it out to the offside. There's no run. It is the end of a power play which Northants have, to say the least, won. 29 for 3 compared to 66 for 2. And the last 3 overs have yielded 3 runs for 3 wickets, leaving the Bears 29 for 3 from 6.
And now Graham White coming into the attack, so we've already had a couple of the spinners. I just wonder how many more might be used. He's obviously got Paul Sterling, who bowled his full 4 overs at Worcester, and Safe Save, who got through 3 overs at Worcester, bowled sort of fairly quick in this sort of cricket anyway, sort of quick left arm spin.
Bowling first to Hose. Field, of course, spread out now. 5 men on the boundary now that we're out of power play. A sort of semicircle in front of the batter. As White comes around the wicket, and Hose leans back, crashes it out to one of those boundary fielders for a single. Hose on to 2, 30 for 3. The Bears chasing 159 to win. Northants trying to make it effectively 3 wins out of 3 if you ignore the no result. And if you work on the theory that if you win more than you lose, you usually qualify.
Yes.
If Northants win this, they could only be a couple of wins away from potentially qualifying. Top 2 in each group, plus the 2 best third places. With the 3 groups of 6 go through to the quarter-finals. That one is worked away to long on by Rose. It's maybe what the Bears will have to do for a while. Just make sure they keep getting something off every ball, and try and establish some sort of partnership. They have got some big hitters still to come.
You ever commentated on cricket in October, Clive? I don't think I have.
No, I haven't. Yes, it's going to be a curious one, isn't it? White comes around the wicket to bowl, and he's caught behind it. Was he bowl? He's out anyway. White just bowl, knocked the bails off, and Hose goes for 2. Can't help feeling with him gone, it's very hard to see the Bears getting back into this one now. 31 for 4.
What a delivery.
It's a decent ball, really did, didn't it? It just turned a little bit. It didn't do a lot, but it just did enough.
Yeah.
Hit the top of off, I would imagine. Again, we're not completely behind the line here, but it looked a decent ball. And yeah, that's a big blow.
Well, Tim Bresnan, who of course likes the Northants bowling, he comes out to bat now, but
yes, he has previous.
Yes.
Stranger things have happened, haven't they? But
yeah,
that run rate keeps building.
Bresnan made 105 in the Bob Willis Trophy match.
He might have to get something close to that now.
But that was
going to win this.
But that was off 209 balls.
Yeah, have to go a bit quicker. Well, it's his first bat for the Bears in the T20. Of course, you're right, Northants will not feel the game's won by any means, but have a real stranglehold on the Bears at the moment. Slip goes into place. Look to remain on top. Bresnan hits that hard. That's a good first shot. He'll probably only get one for it, but it was nicely played. Now into the offside. He's off the mark first ball. 32 for 4.
There's a little bit of atmosphere up here, courtesy of the Northamptonshire support staff. Getting very animated.
Well, as White comes over the wicket to Rhodes base at the square leg for a single. It was in Northampton actually where I covered Wasp's first rugby match since lockdown, and it was a very definite policy from Wasp for their replacements and coaching staff to make as much noise as possible to get behind the team. It worked pretty well.
Intruding on private grief again there.
Round the wicket comes White to bowl, and that's a good delivery again. Hurry Bresnan up, but he defends it, but it's a very good first over from White. 4 runs off it and a wicket. And the Bears, 33 for 4. They've got just 13 overs to go, and they still need another 126 to win.
I think Josh Cobb might be bringing himself back on, by the look of it. Yes, he is.
You confident, Trish, at the moment?
Like I said, stranger things have happened, but yes, I'd like to think that we should be able to get over the line from here. You know, that required run rate keeps building, always putting pressure, more and more pressure on the batters that are out there now, and then anyone that's coming in. So
9.7 now.
Yep. And there's an inside edge from Rhodes. He's going to get a streaky run for it. He knew very little about that.
There's not a lot of confidence in the batters at the moment.
There's not. They won't be particularly confident when they look at the Duckworth-Lewis, which I think says they should be on 63 now. So a little bit behind. However, comes Cobb to bowl, and that's right in the toes of Bresnan, who does well to dig it out and plays it to long on for a single. Bresnan on to 2. 35 for 4.
Mind you have to say, Clive, if you were looking at if you've got the pick of anybody in the county circuit to come in this sort of situation, I think Tim Bresnan might be fairly high up on your list.
Rhodes pushes that one back to the bowler. There's no run.
On the basis of been there, seen it, done it.
He's certainly got that experience, but been perhaps a little earlier than the Bears would have liked. Rhodes down on one knee, sweeps that away to a square leg for a single. That's all the Bears are able to deal with in at the moment. 36 for 4. Not since Ian Bell hit a 6 and a 4 in successive balls have they managed to find the boundary. Cobb getting on with it. He knows his team are on top, so let's get as many balls out of the way as possible. He bowls out to Bresnan, who gets a single onto the leg side.
Bowlers bowl into their field, which you like to see as well.
Yeah, he's got 3 men inside the circle on the offside as he comes in round the wicket to the left-handed Rhodes, who plays it to one of the fielders on the leg side for a single. Rhodes on to 5, 38 for 4. That's a spectacular over. They managed to eke 5 runs out of it, but that's well short of what they'll need in the long run. But they're just trying to build some sort of partnership here. Rhodes on 5, Bresnan on 3. The Bears 38 for 4 in reply to Northant's total for 158 for 7 in their 20 overs.
Who are we going to have now? Still Graham White.
Yeah, Graham White to bowl to Will Rhodes. In he comes, left arm over. Oh, Rhodes has gone for the reverse sweep and it's bowled. Reverse sweep slog, and he misses it, and the ball hits the stumps, and the 5th wicket down. And North has a new variation on the old high fives. They're kicking each other's boots in celebration. And they must feel they're pretty close to wrapping this up. 38 for 5 now.
It's a sort of cross between a slightly stilted can-can and a rather clumsy clog dance, isn't it? I don't think they'll be getting many 10s from Len, but...
Well, I haven't seen Jake Lynn top bat. I'm hoping he's rather good, because he's going to have to be from a Bears point of view.
Which school is it? Sorry, you did tell me.
Queen's Taunton.
Queen's Taunton.
So, yeah, so let's see if he's learnt the batting technique that he's been teaching.
He did it with the ball, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Could be the new Arthur Wellard from down there. Or
Northants potentially heading for a big victory here. 38 for 5. White round the wicket to Lintott. Plays it to the onside for a single. I wonder whether it's time for me to look up what the Bears' lowest score in T20 cricket is. I can remember it. I think Levy played in the game. I think it was against Somerset at Taunton. But, certainly double figures. I shall see if I can find that at some point. Because if you believe in commentators' curses, which I don't, because I'm more rational than that, if I come up with that, then maybe the Bears will...
Lowest against Northamptonshire is 86.
Crikey, that must have been pretty close to the lowest. I'll check in a minute. That one is hit down to long on for a single by Bresnan, who is on to 4.
That was by Worcestershire.
Oh, I see, not the Bears' lowest, I beg your pardon.
No,
right.
the highest lowest in this competition.
Yeah.
That was at New Road in 2006.
As this next one, White comes around the wicket and wraps Lintott on the pads. It rolls away. There's no run.
And that was actually a recovery, because Worcestershire, looking at this, were 18 for 6 and 40 for 7 and 42 for 8.
Well, yeah. Do I point out that Northampton got the second lowest individual total in this competition?
You could do. Yes.
47. That one is a reverse sweep
dear, yes.
from Lintott for a single. He's off the mark. Let me see, I've got the Bears one somewhere here on my list. 41 for 5 they are now. Bears' lowest total is 73 against Somerset at Taunton in 2013. They've only been below 100 twice. That's played to long off for a single by Bresnan, who moves on to 5.
I'm afraid to say 100 seems quite far away at the moment.
It does. It definitely does. 42 for 5. They are at the end of the 9th over. We're 4 runs and a wicket off that over.
And with the spinners on, they're ticking away quite quickly, aren't they, the overs?
What I would say is if the Bears do win this game, it's going to be a pretty spectacular end to the match, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Definitely a game to remember.
So Cobb to Bresnan. And Bresnan just clips it onto the leg side. There's no run.
Cobb first 2 overs, just 7 runs.
He's getting on with it as well. Yeah, doing a good job. And Bresnan hits that one hard, but only to the fielder and long on. He's probably looked the most assured batter out of certainly the last few that have been out there in the crease. Bresnan, he's on to 6. Lintott. Perhaps you can see the headlines flashing before his eyes now. Him and Kelly could come in and win the game for them. That would be a story, wouldn't it?
That's the tale. Pivotal all-rounder, Jake Lintott.
Cobb over the wicket. Lintott comes dancing down the pitch, works it onto the leg side. He's going to get one. They might have time to... Oh, Lintott's backed himself. In the end, it was an easy 2 because the fielder slipped, but that was confident running by Lintott. He did not hesitate. He was going to run on the throw there, and he gets through for 2, 43 for 5.
Ben Sanderson finished up chewing a bit of grass there, didn't he? Flat on his face.
So the batter put him under pressure. I think Northampton are under a great deal of pressure at the moment, but he perhaps got him excited. There's a reverse sweep there from Lintott. I'm not sure he got anything on that. We'll soon find out. No, he didn't. It's a leg by. 46 for 5. But he's certainly trying, Lintott. He's probably got nothing to lose now, really. The Bears lose this game, it won't be his fault. Bresnan hits that off his toes down the ground to long on for a single. Again, Lintott is looking for 2, but not there. I was going to say he's got an older man at the other end. Bresnan's perhaps not as old as you think. It makes me feel old, though, because he made his debut for Yorkshire at the age of 16. That's why he's been around for so long. But I actually commentated on that game, which makes me feel rather old. That was in the 40 over competition. And this one is, well, it's an appeal for LBW. I think he was outside the line. He tried to sweep that Lintott and missed. I think the bowler just wanted to make the point to him that he missed an appeal, but it's the end of the over. Well, they eked out 5 runs for it, but at the halfway stage, the Bears chasing what looks a pretty unlikely 159 now are 47 for 5. And after a word from Trish, must be feeling pretty good from Northampton's point of view. It'll be Andrew Radd.
Yeah, feeling pretty confident. I think so far it's been a very good display from everybody in the field and with the ball. So I seem to be bowling and sticking to plans. So just got to carry on and hopefully get over the line.
Bears needing 112 off 10 overs, which even I can work out is 11.2 and over. As Gareth Berg starts a fresh over, bowling to Tim Bresnan, who cracks that away through the covers, but he's only going to get a single. It's good fielding again by Ben Sanderson, rather, who's out there on the boundary in front of the west stand. So one more to Bresnan, who goes to 8 and 48 for 5. The Bears now. Berg turns again, running away from us from this pavilion end. Bowls to Lintott, and Lintott forced onto the back foot, just plays it up on the onside. Berg quickly across in his follow through, cuts off any chance of a single. Bears having lost the wickets of Ian Bell for 13, Ed Pollock for 8, Sam Hain for 2, Adam Hose for 2, and Will Rhodes for 5. Wickets falling at 26, 26, 31, 29, 31 and 38. As Berg comes in again, bowls to Lintott, who drives nicely out towards the boundary at backward point, but he's only going to get a couple of runs. Again, it's good smart fielding out there by Sanderson, but good running as well. Positive running from Lintott. He picks up a couple of runs, 6 to him, 50 up for the Bears, 50 for 5 in the 11th over.
Yeah, 63 balls for that 50.
And Lintott has already had an excellent game with the ball, 4 overs, 2 for 18. Can he do it for the Bears with the bat? Berg comes in, bowls to him, and he spears that one away, or aims to smear it away towards deep mid wicket, doesn't make contact. And Ricardo Vasconcelos, keeping wicket, standing up to the medium pace. Berg has the bails off, but doesn't bother to appeal. His back foot was planted.
Would have been a good shot if he'd actually made contact.
Well, if they made contact, they might have been fishing that out of the barbecue in the gardens in Montage Road. There's Berg in again, bowls to Lintott, very full length, who shapes to play it on the onside, just runs off his pad, I think. Yes, just a leg by, goes down towards short fine leg. So one more to the total, 51 for 5, and one ball to go of the 11th over. Josh Cobb having bowled 3 overs for 11, Sanderson 2 overs for 10, Glover 1 over for 12. As Berg comes in, bowls to Preston, who is going to get runs here as it runs down off an inside edge down towards fine leg boundary, and he gets 4. As man chasing down there to the fence, didn't have a lot of chance, runs down there, the outfield's fairly quick, and so Bresnan benefits to the tune of 4. He goes into double figures, he's 12, and at the end of the 11th over, the Bears are 55 for 5, 8 runs off that one.
I was going to say, the fight back started.
Absolutely.
Expensive one, take him off.
There's a very large moth, flies across the ground and attracted by the floodlights, and it's going to be Graham White to bowl his 3rd over, 2 for 8 so far from his first 2. He's bowling from the far end this time, round the wicket, bowls to Lintott, who comes down the pitch, gives it the chassé, and then when he gets there, just blocks it back to the bowler.
Well, he's having a go, Lintott, to be
He
fair
is,
to him,
no,
isn't he?
absolutely. Good intent. Lintott on 6, 55 for 5. Target 159. White bowls to him again. He comes down the wicket. The ball balloons off the pad on the onside, and he picks up a leg by as Ricardo Vasconcelos comes out from behind the stumps to pick up and complete the fielding. One more on the total, 56 for 5. Brandon Glover goes through some animated loosening up exercises, and of course Nathan Buck has bowled just 1 over, 1 maiden, 2 for 0 so far. As White comes in, bowls to Bresnan, who gives himself room, and I thought for 1 minute he was going to try and launch that over extra cover. In the end, he just played a defensive stroke, pushes it out on the offside, waiting for the right ball, but that seems to be the thought. Just get Give himself a little bit of room and aim. Big gap over extra cover. This time though, he swings on the leg side and he's going to pick up 4 runs. Good shot from Tim Bresnan. White just bowling a little bit straight there, and Bresnan picking up the line and the length and swings it away to the boundary. Deep backward square, 4 to him. He goes up to 16, 60 for 5. Trish puts a coat on.
It's getting a bit chilly.
It's going to get a little bit chilly.
Got my hat, I've got a scarf.
I've got my fleece, haven't needed it yet, but could be only a matter of time. 60 for 5 in the 12th. White comes in and Bresnan again down the wicket, drives up to long off, going to pick up a single. Smart fielding coming in off the boundary in front of the indoor school by Nathan Buck. 1 more to Bresnan, who's 17, 61 for 5 the Bears. 1 ball to go in the 12th. White in again, bowls this time to Lintott, who drives not quite as hard as the previous stroke from Bresnan, but the result is the same, a single to long off. Buck once again fields. Lintott goes to 7 with that single, and with 12 overs gone, 7 runs off that one, the Bears are 62 for 5, which means they need another 97 to win off 8.
Bresnan's actually looking pretty good out there, and of course the Bears won't have completely given up on this game, but at the same time they'll also be mindful that things could come down to net run rate, and if they are going to lose, and try and get as many on the board as they can, and Bresnan's doing a decent job.
Well, Brandon Glover is coming back into the attack. Bowled his first over, coming on his first change. He bowled the 3rd over of the innings, and that went for 12. So Glover will be looking to do a little bit better this time, as I say, having proved fairly costly during the previous match against Somerset, having impressed in the first game against Worcestershire. Glover in again. Start his 2nd over, and he bowls to Lintott, who is going to get 4. He came down the pitch and just shaped it away, steered it away, down to a fairly wide-ish 3rd man for 4. So Lintott into double figures, 11 for him off 14 balls, 66 for 5.
Bears changing room doing their best to keep the players out there encouraged, cheering that before.
Again,
it was a match-winning stroke.
Well, it was a clever shot because he's got 2 men. He's got a sort of short 3rd man and a backward point, and he managed to beat the 2 of them. So clever bit of batting. Glover in again, bowls to Lintott, slower ball, and Lintott pulls that one up to long on. Man there on the boundary, so only gets a single. 1 more to Lintott, 12 to him, 67 for 5. Lintott doesn't look any mug with the bat at all. He's shaped as well as anyone, better than some. So looks as though he's got good match awareness, knows where the fielders are. And his Glover into bowls to Tim Bresnan. Again, slower ball, just holds it up in the pitch, and he paddles it round the corner and picks up a single as it goes down to Alex Wakely on the boundary at long leg. 1 more to Bresnan, 17 to him.
He's to have added 30 now, just over 4 overs.
Yep, 68 for 5, 91 more needed. The scoring rate required is just over 13 and over, but say a couple of big overs and you never know. Here's Glover in again, bowls to Lintott, and he's gone, he's caught behind. Lintott aiming to try and swing that one away on the onside, gets a little top edge, goes through to Vasconcelos, and the pace of Glover just proving his undoing there. I think it was done as much for pace as anything. The short ball, he gets a little edge, and Lintott goes for a plucky 12, and the Bears are 68 for 6 in this, the 13th over.
Henry Brooks walks out to the crease now, and they're still in danger of being out for double figures. It will only be the 3rd time in the competition.
He's got pace, Brandon Glover, without a doubt.
Ball, yeah.
And what impressed me in the game at Worcester was the fact that he bowled 1 over early on and then came back and bowled the last over of the innings. And most bowlers are going to just require a little bit of pace balls, a little bit of warming up. But he came on right from the first ball, was going pretty much at full throttle, and it was impressive. So he's picked up a wicket, 68 for 6, as Henry Brooks comes to the crease. and an awful lot now, pretty much everything you would imagine, hinging on Tim Bresnan. Here's Glover, in bowls to Brooks, good ball, full length, and he plays it up to mid-on, gets off the mark straight away with a single, fielded by Graham White, coming in off the boundary. So Brooks is away with a single, 69 for 6, 90 runs required by the Birmingham Bears, with one ball to go in the 13th over, so 7 after this. The required rate now up to 13.6 as Tim Bresnan faces this ball from Glover. Again, full length, hits him on the pad, hits him on the foot, I think. There's a stifled appeal for LBW, just rolls out on the offside, clearly going down the leg side. End of the over, decent one from Brandon Glover, 7 runs off it and a wicket. And at the end of 13, the Bears are 69 for 6, so the equation, 90 runs required, 7 overs to go.
Yeah, somewhat unlikely. But, say Bresnan's probably, of all the batters out there, looked the most accomplished.
Well, he looks to have a plan, doesn't he? I think that's the thing that strikes me, Clive. He knows what his areas are, and I thought Lintott did that as well. Graham White in again, bowls, and he's driving to extra cover. He's got
crowd catch.
It was a crowd catch. Nearly did me. Caught. It was taken by Brandon Glover, by Gareth Berg rather, at extra cover on the bounce. White in again, bowls to Brooks, and Brooks forces that away nicely off the back foot. He's going to pick up 4 there as it goes through backward point. Nicely executed stroke. And Brooks gets a boundary, 5 to him, 73 for 6. Graham White having bowled 3 overs, 2 for 14. So good contribution from him. 34 years old now, just plays white ball cricket for Northamptonshire. Still a very useful performer. Comes in again, bowls to Brooks, who goes sort of inside out and plays it out without a great deal of timing, but manages to get a single as he goes out towards deep extra cover. Just skewed off a sort of thickish edge. But he picks up another run, 6 to him, 74 for 6. The Bears. White in again, bowls this time to Bresnan, who goes up and over and is very, very nearly caught by that's Josh Cobb, I think, who had a huge dive at extra cover, got a hand to it, but couldn't hang on, and they pick up 2 runs as it's cleared up by Ben Sanderson running around the boundary.
He tipped that over the top corner, didn't he?
It was leapt like a salmon, as they say. 2 to Bresnan. He's 20, 76 for 6. It was good effort. And White in again, and that's gone a long way. That's 6. That, I think, has gone onto the roof of the indoor centre. It signals 6 by umpire Rob White, which I think we'd worked out. That was as big a hit as we've seen in this match. And one of the security guards in the tabards we were talking about earlier. This is the one. There's one in an orange tabard down to our left. He seems to be patrolling that side of the ground. This chap's had a lot to do. This is the one in the sort of the fluorescent yellow tabard, and he's been doing most of the running around.
If that ball's out of the ground, that's not the end of the game. We're null and void now.
I think it'd be 6 and out. It goes over the neighbour's garden. I think actually it may have cleared because I didn't hear it clatter onto the roof. In which case it may have gone into the car park. It was a big hit anyway. It takes Bresnan to 26, and the Bears up to 82 for 6. That was as big a hit. There was the one that Levy hit down over mid-wicket that disappeared into the gardens, which I think was probably the biggest in the Northamptonshire innings.
That was just a clean hit, wasn't it?
That was just
all timing.
Set himself,
yeah.
Hit through it, and it went a very long way. I thought at one stage he was targeting the ECB liaison officer, Alex Swan, in one of the boxes up there. Missed him comfortably. Went straight between the two. So, 82 for 6. 77 more runs needed. The rate just comes down a hair. And what will Graham White's reply be? Bowls again to Bresnan, who cuts. He's going to get a couple of runs. It goes down towards backward point. In fact, they're going to settle for 1. That's smart fielding. Looks
like the ball's coming back as well.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yes. The man in the tabard has done his job absolutely splendidly. He's managed to find the ball in the car park, and he's thrown it back, and it will now be very sort of covered in dew because it's gone all over the grass that by now will be starting to get a little bit damp. One more to Bresnan, end of that over, 27 to him, 6 to Brooks, 83 for 6 off 14. So the Bears needing 76 more runs off 6 overs, which I can tell you instantly, because it's up on the board, is a required rate of 12.7, so it's come down.
As long as Bresnan didn't do what Kevin O'Brien did there and hit his own windscreen. See
Oh,
that?
yes.
Kevin O'Brien playing in
Yes.
Ireland, hit a
Yes,
6,
that's right,
smash his own windscreen.
Well, 14 off that over, so it can be done. Gareth Berg starts a fresh over, bowls to Bresnan, who shapes to play that one nicely down towards backward point, but an excellent bit of fielding, just when it looked as though it might possibly go all the way. It's intercepted by Paul Sterling. And that's by his own standards, a fairly quiet game, but a good bit of fielding there, saved certainly a couple of runs. Bresnan gets a single, goes to 28, 84 for 6. In the 15th over, target 159, Berg in again, bowls this time to Brooks, who gets a thick inside edge as he tries to paddle that round the corner, and he goes down to the boundary. So 4 more to Henry Brooks, and this partnership prospering. They've now put on 20 runs, 88 for 6. So 71 more runs needed, and there are 5 overs and 4 balls to go, so 34 balls left. The asking rate 12.5. Berg in again, bowls to Brooks, and Brooks just plays that out on the offside this time, and he's going to get certainly 1, I think about 2, as Ben Sanderson comes off the boundary, cover point boundary, the sweeping position in front of the west stand, and he keeps it to 1. So Brooks goes to 11, 89 for 5, 70 more runs needed. Very pleasant evening, not too cold, not much breeze, very, very still. As Berg comes in, bowls, and Bresnan swings that towards the mid-wicket boundary. He's going to be caught, and he is. He's caught out there on the boundary by Alex Wakely, and Bresnan's attractive little innings, including that enormous 6, is at an end. He's been caught by Alex Wakely off the bowling of Gareth Berg for 28, and the Bears are 89 for 7.
Decent, not from Bresnan, scoring 28, but he had to gamble on hope. But, the shots had come off, and that one didn't get enough on it. Good catch. Wakely running in wasn't easy.
I didn't think he'd picked it at first.
No, I wondered if he seemed a little bit slow setting off, but but he got there. As I say, he must have covered, I don't know if he's got one of these little monitors, I know some of the players do have, but he must have covered more ground in the last couple of games than he probably did the whole of last season, I think. He's been a busy chap. Where's Ollie Stone coming to the crease, who can bat, as we know, and I'm sure he would dearly love to put one over on his old teammates, some of his old teammates, certainly his old club, but it's a tough ask. The asking rate now 13.1, 89 for 7, the Bears, and Henry Brooks is facing because the batsman crossed, and Gareth Berg comes in and he picks up another single. He plays that out once again to the man out on the boundary, Alex Wakely, who took that catch the ball before. 1 more to Brooks, who goes to 12 off 7 balls, and the Bears to 90 for 7, 1 ball to go in the 15th over. 69 more runs needed, but just 3 wickets in hand. As Berg comes in, bowls to Stone, who's off the mark at once with a single up to Graham White, coming in off the boundary up long on. And that's the end of another over, so 1 to Ollie Stone, 12 to Henry Brooks, and chasing 159 to win. The Birmingham Bears are 91 for 7, 5 overs to go. After a word from Trish to take you through to the end, it'll be Clive Eakin.
Another good little bit of work there from all the boys in the field. I think it's a big ask now, isn't it, for Warwickshire to chase down these runs, but can't be complacent, just got to keep executing the things that we've been doing so far, and I think fairly confident that we should get over the line with this.
Yeah, the Bears actually got 44 runs from the last 5 overs, but the last 2 wickets in the process. This after getting just 20 runs from the previous 5. You don't want at any point to sort of give up, but you just wonder whether they're at a stage now where it's just to see what we can get rather than worrying too much about the target. Stone drives that one through the offside. It's a well placed shot, but the sweeper will come round and cut it off, and you'll just get a couple of runs.
I think it's so early in the competition, isn't it? I think get out in the middle. Then they want to spend some time out of there and see what they can do, and just use it as practice, really.
First runs off Nathan Buck. His figures have been ruined.
93 for 7. In comes Buck to bowl, and Stone turns that round onto the onside. They're just going to get 1. 94 for 7. Stone onto 4. Brooks has made 12 off 7 balls. It include a fortuitous 4, but he can bat. Henry Brooks. In fact, there was a championship match here, I seem to remember, where he batted particularly well in a big partnership with Tim Ambrose. This next one, Brooks makes room, and it was fooled by the lack of pace of that delivery from Buck, and Brooks had played his shot almost before Buck had...
Will Jacks, a little bit of movement, leg side, and then a lovely flourish. Tries again and dismissed. Length a little different, and the dangerous Will Jacks comes and goes for 17. Big shot leg side, big shot, and all the way, I think, yeah, all the way. Laurie Evans just beginning to tick. Whipped away leg side, simple catch.
He's trying to stay on the park.
Lovely shot, super shot, high class shot from Sam Curran.
Played a big part in that.
Short ball to finish the over. Pace off the ball again. Lovely shot. Beautiful timing. Same again. Same result. Terrific batting.
Oh, thick outside edge. Third in the ring. Well, direct it. It's always going to be close.
Because he gets to the ball so quickly. Brilliant pickup. To send the specialists out there. Month or so.
Well, simple as you like. Just as we were talking up. Wow, that sounded very good off the bat by Sean Abbott. Well, chances of another catch. That's gone all the way again. There's been a little bit of celebrating as well in the crowd. I don't know if it's another one or if someone's... Well, chances again, and that's an excellent catch. I think that's Jack leaning out in the deep, diving forwards.
There's threat everywhere with this Surrey side, but to get their two openers out early was a big plus. The power keeps coming, and we just continue to take wickets, taking wickets, which has obviously helped.
Really nicely played. Even though there were people there was a deep third and a point. Abbott has managed to use a little bit of innovation